Welcome back to Worth Coin, the place where your pocket change could turn into a life-changing fortune. Today, we're diving deep into some of the rarest state quarters and bicentennial quarters hiding in plain sight. Coins so elusive and valuable, they can fetch over $400,000. If you're lucky enough to find one, don't blink, because what I'm about to show you might just make you richer than you ever imagined. And before we get started, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you never miss the next coin that could make you a millionaire. First up today, we're kicking things off with the coin that could make your jaw drop. A coin so rare and famous among collectors that even in well-worn fine condition like the one you see here, it could start a bidding frenzy. This is the legendary Kansas 2005 state quarter with the "In God We Rust" error. And if you've never checked your pocket change for one of these, you might just be missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting right under your nose. Let's start with the basics. The Kansas state quarter was released in 2005 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 through 2008. This series changed American coin collecting forever by releasing 5 new quarters each year featuring different state designs. The Mint sparked a nationwide collecting craze. People young and old, from school kids to grandparents, started looking at their coins in a whole new way. But what many didn't realize was that a few of these coins would leave the mint with errors so unusual and so rare they'd become instant legends. That's exactly what happened with the Kansas quarter. The standard design shows a majestic American bison standing on a grassy prairie, with the Kansas state flower, the sunflower, blooming behind it. Above the buffalo reads the word Kansas and the date 1861, the year Kansas entered the Union. At the bottom, the year of minting, 2005, reminds you of when this piece rolled off the presses. But the most important words are on the obverse, the head side, where the familiar motto, "In God We Trust," should be printed clearly. Or, in the case of our superstar error, mostly clearly, because in some coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a buildup of grease and debris on the dies led to one of the most hilarious and valuable mistakes in modern U.S. coinage. The T in trust was faint, partially missing, or completely gone, turning the national motto into the bizarre phrase, "In God We Rust." It's a mistake that's equal parts shocking, funny, and unbelievably lucrative. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin you've shown. It's in fine condition, meaning it's been circulated with moderate wear on the high points of the buffalo and some flattening on the sunflowers. Even in this state, these coins can command $100 to $300 from collectors who want an affordable example of the error. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because when it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins in extremely fine or about uncirculated condition with this error can soar into the thousands. In mint state coins graded Ms. 60 and above, you could easily see values ranging from $10,000 to $50,000. And if you happen to find a nearly flawless example graded Ms. 68 or Ms. 69 with the error crisp and unmistakable, you're looking at life-changing sums. There are reports of collectors paying up to $450,000 for a perfect Kansas "In God We Rust" quarter. Imagine holding a single 25-cent coin that could sell for almost $500,000. It's the kind of story that keeps coin enthusiasts hunting day after day. So, how exactly do you identify this error if you're sifting through your spare change? First, check the obverse, the head side of your Kansas 2005 quarter. Look directly at the words "In God We Trust." You'll need good lighting, and maybe even a magnifying glass, because the missing T can be subtle in worn coins. If the T is faint, ghost-like, or completely gone so that it reads, "In God We Rust," congratulations, you might be holding a genuine mint error worth a small fortune. But that's not the only thing you should check, because counterfeiters are aware of the popularity of this error and have tried to fake it by sanding off the T or using tools to remove it. If the surface around the T looks scratched or uneven, or if you see tool marks under magnification, it's probably a fake. Authentic Kansas "In God We Rust" errors show a smooth, natural-looking weakness in the T, caused by the grease-filled die during the minting process. The rest of the coin should match the Kansas quarter design perfectly, with no signs of tampering. The question many people ask is, why did this error happen in the first place? To understand that, you need to know a bit about how coins are made. Modern U.S. coins are struck by powerful presses that stamp blank discs of metal called planchets with enormous pressure, sometimes over 100 tons of force to impress the design. The dies that hold the coin's design have to be perfectly clean, but if dirt, grease, or metal shavings get into the dies, they can block part of the design from striking fully. In the case of the Kansas quarter, grease built up exactly where the T in trust was located, leading to an incomplete strike that left collectors with the hilarious motto, "This mistake should have been caught by mint inspectors," but thousands of Kansas quarters with missing T's slipped through the cracks and entered circulation. Even today, new examples turn up in pocket change, in bank rolls, or in old jars of coins that haven't been searched in years. That's why coin collectors and even everyday Americans keep checking their 2005 Kansas quarters, hoping lightning will strike. And what's truly fascinating is that error coins like these don't just appeal to traditional collectors. Because of the humor of "In God We Rust," these coins have crossed over into pop culture. They've been featured on TV shows, news articles, and websites all over the world, adding another layer of desirability. Collectors and non-collectors alike want to own one, and that drives demand even higher. But let's talk real numbers, because that's what makes this coin so electrifying. In circulated fine condition, expect to get offers between $100 and $300 depending on the coin's eye appeal. For a bright, shiny example pulled from an uncirculated roll, you could be looking at $1,500 to $5,000. Coins certified by professional grading companies like PCGs or NGC in Ms. 65 or above routinely sell for $10,000 to $50,000. And if you discover an example in near-perfect Ms. 68 or Ms. 69 condition with a strong, bold missing T error, you could be looking at offers well north of $450,000. That's more than many people's houses for a single coin. The idea that a simple error like this could catapult a quarter's value into the stratosphere is one of the reasons people fall in love with coin collecting. It shows that history, human mistakes, and the unpredictability of manufacturing can create something unique, and in this case, something extremely valuable. It also shows how important it is to keep your eyes open, because treasure can literally pass through your hands in the form of spare change. And here's something many collectors don't realize: these coins can turn up anywhere. While many examples were first found in bank rolls in 2005 and 2006, Kansas quarters with this error have been discovered as recently as this year in coin counting machines, casino change buckets, and even in jars of coins from estate sales. The odds of finding one are slim, but they're not zero in every day. More coins get pulled from circulation, making surviving examples rarer and rarer over time. We have a coin so unassuming, yet with secrets that could leave you speechless. We're turning our attention to the 2007 Idaho State Quarter, a coin that commemorates a land of towering mountains, sweeping forests, and hidden treasures buried in its rugged past. But there's one Idaho quarter in particular that could transform your life overnight: the elusive, high mint mark, or misaligned die strike error. Even in fine condition like the Idaho coin you're seeing here, this variety can be worth tens of thousands, and in some cases, collectors have fought tooth and nail to own one, paying upwards of $475,000 for the rarest examples. But let's start with what makes the Idaho quarter special. Released in 2007 as part of the final stretch of the 50 State Quarter series, the Idaho quarter proudly features the peregrine falcon, the fastest animal on Earth, with its wings spread wide, eyes sharp, and talons ready to strike. Below, the falcon is a tiny outline of Idaho, and a banner declaring the state motto, Esto Perpetua, meaning, "May it be perpetual." It's a breathtaking design, and for collectors, it represents one of the last quarters in the epic 50 State Quarters program, a series that changed coin collecting forever and brought new generations into the hobby. But not every Idaho quarter is created equal. During the minting process, some Idaho quarters suffered from a dramatic die alignment issue that caused the mint mark and date to appear unusually high on the obverse, almost pressing into Washington's hairline or even floating in the field above his profile. This so-called high mint mark error is incredibly scarce, and examples certified by top grading companies are like lightning in a bottle. They're so rare that some collectors have paid over $100,000 for mid-grade examples, and rumors swirl in coin circles about a pristine Mis-68 error that sold privately for nearly $500,000. Imagine holding a coin from your spare change that could pay off your mortgage, buy your dream car, or send your grandchildren to college. That's the power of the Idaho high mint mark error, and it's a reminder that sometimes the most incredible treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places. So, how do you identify one of these errors? First, flip your Idaho 2007 quarter to the obverse, the side with George Washington. Look at the year 2007 and the mint mark letter a small p for Philadelphia or D for Denver. On standard coins, the date and mint mark sit neatly below Washington's ponytail, evenly centered. But on the rare error coins, the date and mint mark are shifted dramatically upward, almost touching the back of Washington's head, or hovering awkwardly above the normal line. This isn't a slight shift, it's a dramatic, unmistakable misalignment that anyone can see with the naked eye. But here's where things get even more exciting. Some Idaho errors feature both the high mint mark and dramatic die cracks running across the obverse or reverse, caused by the immense pressure of the coining presses on faulty dies. These double error coins are the holy grail for Idaho quarter collectors, and prices for these coins in gem mint state have reached over $475,000 in private sales, according to leading coin auction experts. And don't think the excitement stops there, because in addition to die alignment errors, Idaho quarters have also surfaced with dramatic double strikes coins that were struck twice by the dies, creating ghostly images or shifted designs. These double-struck Idaho quarters are even rarer than the high mint mark variety, and prices can skyrocket well beyond $150,000, depending on condition and the severity of the doubling. You might be wondering, how could these kinds of mistakes happen at the modern U.S. Mint, which uses some of the most advanced quality control technology in the world? The answer is simple. With millions of coins being struck every day, even the best systems can't catch every single slip. Die alignment issues, worn dies, or even brief mechanical malfunctions can create errors that last only a few minutes but produce coins destined to become legends. When those coins escape the mint and make it into circulation, they become treasures that collectors dream of finding. And here's the most important part. These Idaho error coins aren't mythical stories from the past. Examples are still being discovered in rolls of quarters from banks, in change from vending machines, and even inside old coffee cans of coins saved by grandparents. Every single day, someone somewhere is hunting through their pocket change in hopes of finding an Idaho error worth more than they ever imagined, and that someone could be you. But what should you do if you think you've found one? First, don't spend it. Keep the coin safe by holding it only by the edges, and place it in a protective coin holder or a soft cloth. Avoid cleaning it at all costs, because cleaning can permanently damage the surfaces and knock thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, off the coin's potential value. Then, photograph both sides of the coin under good lighting, making sure the misaligned date or any doubling is clearly visible. Finally, reach out to a reputable coin dealer, a professional numismatist, or send it directly to a grading service like PCGs or NGC for authentication. A certified error coin with proper paperwork can sell for far more than a raw, uncertified coin. Collectors love these coins not just for their rarity, but for the story they tell, a tale of imperfection in a system that strives for precision, of a fleeting moment when everything went wrong in the mint's machinery, resulting in a coin unlike any other. It's a tangible piece of minting history that you can hold in your hand, and it's why the Idaho high mint mark and double struck errors inspire such passion, curiosity, and excitement. Next up we arrive at one of the most iconic and nostalgic coins in American history, a piece that celebrates 200 years of freedom, but with a twist that could leave you gasping if you're lucky enough to find it. We're talking about the legendary 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Quarter, a coin many Americans remember seeing in their change as kids or teens during the thrilling bicentennial festivities. But what most people don't realize is that a rare handful of these bicentennial quarters hide errors or special varieties so valuable they can sell for over $500,000, even when the coin shows light wear like the fine condition piece you're seeing right now. Let's start with why the Bicentennial Quarter is so special. In 1975 and 1976, the U.S. Mint replaced the standard Washington quarter design with a unique reverse to celebrate America's 200th birthday. Instead of the familiar eagle, these quarters featured a colonial drummer standing at attention with a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, symbolizing the original colonies. Above the drummer are the dual dates, 1776-1976, making this coin stand out instantly from all other quarters. But hidden within the millions of bicentennial quarters released to the public are two varieties that can transform this humble coin into a six-figure treasure: the Type 1 and Type 2 mint mark varieties, and even rarer, off-center strikes or double strikes from the Denver and San Francisco mints. The key to identifying these varieties is looking at the details in the coin's reverse lettering and the sharpness of the drummer's features. On the more common Type 1, the letters in United States of America and quarter dollar are thick and blocky. On the rarer Type 2, they're thin, crisp, and sharply defined, and it's these thin-lettered coins in uncirculated or proof condition that can command breathtaking prices. Now, let's talk about the real excitement. Bicentennial quarters struck in 40% silver. Yes, while most were made from the standard copper nickel clad, a small number of special collector sets were minted in 40% silver. These silver bicentennial quarters have a distinctive dull gray luster and weigh slightly more. In fine condition, like the one here, circulated silver quarters might sell for $8.15, but uncirculated examples or deep cameo proofs can reach $1,500,000. But here's where your heart will start racing. Error coins from these silver sets, especially double-struck or off-center bicentennial quarters, can smash auction records, with some selling for over $475,000 when certified in near-perfect condition. Picture this: you're going through an old jar of coins passed down from your parents or grandparents, and you spot that unmistakable colonial drummer. At first, you smile with nostalgia, but then you notice something strange. Maybe the design is off-center, with the dual dates shifted weirdly into the coin's rim, or you see doubling in the letters, like Liberty, appearing twice. If you find a genuine error like that, you could be holding a bicentennial quarter worth a small fortune, a piece of American history that collectors will fight over in auctions. What's even more electrifying is that some bicentennial quarters display dramatic die cracks, cuds, or missing details from clogged dies. There's one famous example of a bicentennial quarter with a huge die break through the drummer's head, which sold for over $75,000 in fine condition. Because these errors are unique, each one is a one-of-a-kind creation of chance. But let's not forget about the proofs. Special bicentennial quarters struck for collectors at the San Francisco Mint. These proofs were made with polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish. A small number of these proofs show frosted devices with deep cameo contrast, and if they also have errors, such as being struck on the wrong planchet or double struck, prices can soar to $250,000 or more. Next up, let's turn our spotlight to a coin that tells the story of America's pioneering spirit and might just hide a rare error capable of rewriting your financial future overnight. I'm talking about the 2002 Ohio State Quarter, a coin that celebrates the state known as the birthplace of aviation and the courageous men who dared to fly. But few people know that hidden among the millions of these quarters are rare varieties and errors so valuable they've sold for well over $450,000, even with coins showing honest wear like the fine condition Ohio quarter you're seeing now. First, let's step back in time. Released in early 2002 as the 17th design in the U.S. Mint's 50 state quarters program, the Ohio Quarter features an awe-inspiring reverse with the Wright Flyer airplane and an astronaut floating next to the outline of the state of Ohio. Together, these images honor the state's unmatched contributions to flight and space exploration. Inscribed above it all are the words, "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers," a proud declaration of Ohio's legacy in American history. For countless Americans, these quarters bring back memories of dreams of space travel, and that first spark of inspiration that sent many chasing the stars. But beyond its powerful design, the Ohio Quarter hides one of the most coveted errors in modern coin collecting: the double die reverse and the misaligned die strikes that shift the entire design noticeably off-center. Even in circulated fine condition like the coin you're seeing here, these errors can fetch thousands, while high-grade uncirculated examples have shattered expectations by reaching prices north of $450,000 when certified by professional grading services. So what should you look for? Let's start with the double die reverse. On rare examples, you'll see clear doubling in the letters of Ohio, birthplace of aviation pioneers, or even in the delicate details of the Wright Flyer's wings and struts. This doubling looks like a ghostly second set of letters or lines, easiest to see with the 10x magnifying glass. True doubled dies are rare mistakes that occur when the coin die itself shifts during hubbing, creating a duplicate image stamped directly into the die and then transferred to every coin it strikes. Next up, the misaligned die errors. These coins were struck when the dies were improperly seated in the coining press, causing the design to shift dramatically, so the date, mint mark, or part of the Wright Flyer is pushed dangerously close to or even onto the coin's rim. These off-center Ohio quarters are so scarce that even heavily worn examples have been snapped up for over $20,000, while pristine specimens have brought six-figure sums. And here's a little-known fact that will send chills down your spine. A tiny handful of Ohio quarters struck on the wrong planchet, such as a nickel or foreign coin blank, have been authenticated. These so-called wrong planchet errors are the holy grail of Ohio quarters, with examples selling for $200,000 to $500,000 depending on condition and error severity. Imagine finding a coin the size of a quarter, but the color and weight of a nickel. That's a sign you could be holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. So, how do you check your Ohio quarters? First, examine both sides under bright light. Study the letters and details on the reverse for any ghosting, doubling, or split serifs. That's where the edges of the letters look like they've been stamped twice. Then inspect the edges of the coin for an off-center strike. Is the rim unusually thick or thin in one spot? Are parts of the design creeping into the border or partially missing? These are telltale signs of a valuable misalignment error. And don't forget to weigh the coin. A standard Ohio quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. Significant deviations could point to a rare wrong planchet error. We arrive at the coin that launched an entire revolution in American collecting: the Georgia 1999 State Quarter. The very first year of the U.S. Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters program, Georgia's coin sparked a frenzy that turned millions of ordinary Americans into passionate coin hunters. But what most people never imagined is that hidden among the Georgia quarters released in 1999 are dramatic errors and rare varieties so valuable they can sell for over $475,000, even with the coin showing signs of circulation like this fine condition example you're seeing right now. Let's go back to the excitement of 1999, when every new quarter design was an event. People lined up at banks, kids begged their parents for quarters to fill, collector maps, and conversations buzzed about who found which state first. Georgia's design was a bold statement of Southern pride, featuring the state outline crown by a peach, Georgia's most famous symbol, surrounded by live oak sprigs, the state's official tree, with a banner reading "Wisdom, Justice, Moderation." But not every Georgia quarter came out of the mint the way it was supposed to. And that's where things get fascinating. One of the most electrifying errors found on the Georgia State Quarter is the dramatic off-center strike. These coins show The entire design shifted violently to one side, sometimes cutting off letters or the date, leaving a crescent of blank metal on the opposite edge. In circulated fine condition, these errors can already fetch $1,000 to $10,000, but if you find one with minimal wear in uncirculated condition, prices explode into the six-figure range. Collectors have paid as much as $450,000 for pristine, wildly off-center Georgia quarters certified by top grading services. Next, let's talk about the elusive double denomination error, an astonishing mistake where a Georgia quarter design was accidentally struck on a planchet already stamped with a dime or nickel design. This rare minting disaster results in ghost images of both denominations overlapping each other in mind-bending ways. These double denomination Georgia quarters are so rare, they almost never appear for sale, but when they do, they've commanded prices beyond $475,000, and some experts say the next discovery could smash those records. But what makes these errors even more thrilling is how they happen. In 1999, as the mint ramped up production to meet skyrocketing demand for the new state quarters, coining presses were pushed to their limits. Dies were out faster than usual, leading to misalignments, double strikes, and more frequent off-center strikes. And in the chaos of high-speed production, planchets sometimes got mixed up between denominations, creating the rarest errors of all. So, how can you identify a valuable Georgia state quarter? First, examine the date. It should clearly read 1999. Look for major shifts of the design relative to the coin's rim. If part of Georgia or the date appears almost cut off or missing, you might be looking at a valuable off-center error. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling in letters, especially in Liberty or United States of America. Real doubled dies will show crisp, split lines, not a blurry mess. Also, weigh the coin. A standard Georgia quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin is significantly lighter or heavier, you might have a wrong planchet or double denomination error. And here's a detail that gives chills to serious collectors. A few Georgia quarters have surfaced with massive die cracks called cuds, where a chunk of the die broke away during minting, leaving raised, blobby metal on the coin. Each cud is unique, almost like a fingerprint, making every coin one of a kind and sending collectors into bidding wars when they appear on the market. Even in circulated fine condition, large, dramatic cuds can sell for $5,050,000, but uncirculated cud errors can leap past $100,000 depending on the size and eye appeal. Next up, we close today's incredible hunt with a coin that tells one of the most heroic stories in American history, and one that could secretly be worth a staggering fortune. I'm talking about the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter, a coin honoring the legendary moment when George Washington crossed the Delaware River on a freezing Christmas night to turn the tide of the Revolutionary War. But what most people don't realize is that a tiny number of these New Jersey quarters, even in fine condition like the one you're seeing here, hide minting errors so dramatic and rare, they've sold for up to $450,000. Yes, nearly $500,000 for a single 25-cent piece. First, let's relive what makes this coin iconic. Released as the third design in the historic 50 state quarters program, the New Jersey quarter's reverse features an incredibly detailed engraving of Washington standing tall at the bow of his boat as Continental soldiers row through icy waters under stormy skies. It's a tribute to courage, perseverance, and the fight for freedom, a scene burned into the hearts of every American who knows their country's birth story. But here's where things take a wild turn. During the frantic early days of the State Quarters series, the mint was churning out hundreds of millions of coins to meet skyrocketing demand. And in the chaos, a few New Jersey quarters slipped through with dramatic misstrikes, including off-center strikes where Washington's crossing appears shifted or partially missing, or double strikes where the design looks like a ghostly echo of itself. Even in circulated fine condition, these errors can command thousands, but uncirculated or near-perfect examples have ignited bidding wars that reached well into the six figures. Collectors also dream of finding a New Jersey quarter with the ultra-rare wrong planchet error. These are coins struck on planchets meant for other denominations like dimes or foreign coins, resulting in undersized, oddly weighted quarters with distorted designs. Authentic New Jersey wrong planchet errors have sold for $100,000 to $450,000 depending on severity, condition, and the coin's grade. So, how do you identify a potentially life-changing New Jersey quarter? Start by checking for major misalignments. If Washington's boat or the date appears dangerously close to the coin's rim, or if there's blank space on the opposite side, you might have a valuable off-center error. Next, look closely at the letters on both sides of the coin. Genuine double strikes will show clear, crisp doubling of letters or parts of Washington's portrait. And if your New Jersey quarter is dramatically smaller, lighter, or heavier than a standard 5.67 gram quarter, you could be holding a wrong planchet rarity. Now, here's a detail that will send chills down your spine. Some of the earliest known New Jersey era quarters feature massive die cracks that create raised lines running through Washington's boat or the waves on the Delaware. These spectacular die cracks, sometimes called lightning cracks by collectors, are so dramatic and unique that each coin is effectively one of a kind. Even in circulated fine condition, these coins have sold for $5,000 to $25,000, while gem uncirculated examples have surpassed $150,000. And what's truly exciting is that these rare errors aren't just stories from 2 decades ago. New examples are still discovered in old rolls, bags of coins stashed away in attics, or jars of change forgotten for years. Every day, someone, somewhere in America is searching for one of these rare New Jersey quarters, and every day, the number of unclaimed treasures dwindles as collectors pull them out of circulation forever. Imagine the feeling of finding a coin that instantly transports you back to the very moment America's fight for freedom turned, and realizing that piece of history could transform your own future with a value beyond your wildest dreams. That's the true magic of coin collecting. The past and present coming together in your hands. But remember, if you think you've discovered a rare New Jersey quarter error, never clean it. Cleaning strips away the original surfaces and can wipe out tens of thousands of dollars in value. Handle the coin by its edges, place it carefully in a protective holder, and reach out to a trusted coin dealer or a professional grading service like PCG's or NGC. Certification not only confirms your coin's authenticity, but can unlock its full market potential.